Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, everyone, wherever you are, depending on where and when you are watching. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon outside my door. What's it looking like outside your door? Now, there are currently 3 African-American male CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. Kenneth Frazier, Roger Ferguson, and Melvin Ellison. And the first Black CEO of a Fortune 500 company was Dr. Clifton Warden. We're talking about the top 500 companies in the country, in the world, and there are only 3, count with me, 1, 2, 3, if you're doing sign language, 3 African-American male CEOs. Who runs the world? Who runs the world? Girls do, is what Beyonce said, and she's right. There are 3 minority women CEOs spearheading Fortune 500 companies. A slight improvement from last year. A slight improvement. We're still talking about the top 500 companies in the world, and there are only 3 African Americans. This increase of women and Fortune 500 company is an indication that diversity is a winning strategy. Is it really? On January 1st of this year, the 5 new Fortune 500 chief executives brought the number of female CEOs up to 53. Now, I don't know what the percentage is because I didn't get a chance to do the math, but 53 out of 500 is not a big improvement. However, those 53 did push the tally over the long-awaited threshold. Women as CEOs isn't an oddity anymore, says Jane Stevenson, who is a global leader of a CEO succession practice. Ursula M. Brown, born September 20th, 1958, just 1 year before me, 1 year and 2 months before me, is an American businesswoman. Burns is also most known for being the CEO of a very big Fortune 500 company. And from 2009 to 2016, when she stepped down, she was the first Black woman to be CEO of a Fortune 500 company and the first woman to lead another as head of a Fortune 500 company. However, the most powerful, most successful CEOs all around the world were just celebrated last Sunday. Some call them mom, others call them mama, some call them mother, madre, but whatever you call them, they were, are, and always will be the best choice to run the world. They are accountants, they're maids, they're cooks, they're nurses, they're teachers, they're preachers, they're engineers, they're artists. They're the most successful, and they are experts of time management, and they wear all these hats at the same time without a retirement plan. There's no 401k plan for mamas who are CEOs of their home. But when they do their job right, the reward is great. Now, while Black CEOs are becoming more commonplace as years go on, there's still a relatively rare phenomenon in this world and in the business community. I'm your co-host, Ambassador Lisa Parks, and welcome to Africa Online TV. Today's topic, women executives. Now, if you're tuning in on Facebook and you want to join the conversation, join us on Zoom. The ID number is 514-199-854. That's 514-199-854. Now, unfortunately, there will be no editorial, which I look forward to. Knowing what the National Day is and what day we're celebrating and what unknown holidays are happening on this day, because our co-host, Professor Nearsom, had emergency, so he will not be with us today to give us that wonderful editorial. But we are so blessed to have our CEO, one of our CEOs, one of our Black CEOs, who will be sharing with us. And I'm introducing right now, Reverend Pam.
Ambassador Lisa, yeah, I thought you were doing the editorials. What you read sounded like an editorial, but guess what? I'm sure Nia Song is going to upload the editorial on Facebook. Yes, he had an emergency and he left town without his laptop. So thank you so much, Madam Ambassador, for your faithfulness. You know, you're a woman in the corporate world too, so I can't wait to hear what you have to say. We have our sister, Elizabeth Bishkov, whom I met about 10 days ago on our planning call. And she was recommended to us by Brother Oliver, who is zooming in from South Africa. I know it's late there, but I would love for my sister, she's very passionate. I would love for her to, if she's made it home, Sister Elizabeth, are you able to speak now, or you need some more time? Because we can give you a few more minutes and come back to you. Are you home now? You are muted. Sister Elizabeth, you're muted.
Well,
Okay, we'll come back.
We'll come back.
We'll come back to her. She lives in Bahrain. She's originally from Kenya, and she's a Switzerland citizen, a citizen of Swiss. So, and she'll be with us in LA. Madam Ambassador, I need to send you the link for the next meeting, because you're going to be in LA not as a guest but as a team member. You know, so you need to join the planning it's every other Saturday. Every Saturday we have it every other Saturday we have it in French. Every other Saturday we have it in English. So we just had the English version yesterday. So I'll send you the link for in 2 weeks so you can be up to speed. But Brother Oliver, while we are waiting for our sister to get into the house, she was driving and she had parked by the road, and we told her, I don't care how safe Bahrain is, we don't want her parked on the road for 90 minutes. That would have taken her into 12:30 a.m. So I don't care how safe any place is, no woman should be out that day. So, but only you work, excuse me, with a lot of women, you know, and I want to hear your take. I will weigh in on this topic because I've been in the corporate world, the global corporate world for decades. And I've worked in all kinds of industries, you know, airline, real estate, pharmaceutical, hair care, nonprofit, charity, ministry, in different capacities, you know, in different countries. So a lot of the times I'm either the only Black person in the boardroom or the only woman in the boardroom. So I have experienced a lot of things in the corporate world. But Brother Oliver, you work with a lot of women in the corporate world. And I know we didn't give you advance notice to invite your women colleagues, but what is your experience with women in the corporate world specifically? How are they treated by the men in the corporate world? Not you, but other men.
Good evening, Reverend Dr. Pam. Good evening to Ambassador Lisa. Good evening, my sister Elizabeth, and to our audience on the different social platforms. I've been working with women for 9 years. We've done a couple of work with organizations such as United Nations Women under the leadership of Mr. Yanda Mvimbi. We've done the Women in Wine in the context of South Africa. We've done quite a lot. I'd written an article 2 years ago, where I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, where I talk about women in boardroom, where I encourage corporates that have a mixture of both male and female. They do much more well than corporates with just females. But I want to answer this question in a different way. My experience, number one, is that I believe that women are stronger than men. I believe that women
Ambassador Lisa is excited, she's sharing.
That's my experience, but women don't realize the power they possess.
Yes.
I believe that in order for us to develop not just Africa, but the entire world, we need women to create tables. We need women to join politics, to join leadership positions. But women always wait to be invited. Unfortunately, that's not how the world works. So we need women there. Reverend Pam, in your opening, you spoke about that you've been in the different portfolios in a management position, sometimes as the first Black women or the first women. And the biggest challenge is that most women that are in those positions were supported by men. That's unfortunate. And then number two is that when you are the first Black woman or the first woman in a position, most women don't really shoulder other women. They don't
That's
take
true.
somebody along or hold. But imagine if women with the power that we possess, 75%, or for example, South African women, for example, most of their income goes back to the needs of the house. Imagine if we, as women that has to have the opportunity to be educated, to be in these positions, can be able to give back by handhold other women, to be able to build a better place for all. In terms of men by nature, there are issues, of course, of abuse. Actually, I was in a meeting on Friday. It was yesterday, a virtual call, and I had to call the lady afterwards, and I said, I was unhappy about how you were treated. I know you work with this person, but the way the guy was rude, was very rude, was very unprofessional. And I actually took it personal myself. And I think we still have issues of that, because I think maybe it's caused also by culture, by patriarchal. And I think there's quite a lot that we need to do in terms of policies as women. I think we need more women to be involved in these discussions. And I believe that women cannot leave men alone as well in that work, because men has been in these industries or sectors, leadership positions and so forth. So there are not all men, but there are men that are really there for the empowerment of women. So we need to take them along and to create more awareness. And women also expect us as men to understand what they're going through. For example, as men, we don't get pregnant or we have children. So if you are a board of director as a female and you are pregnant, if you come late to work, I wouldn't understand what you're going through. But if there's another woman in that position, may understand or what you're going through. So I think what we need to do is to create more awareness, is to be supportive. There are a few men out there that are really supporting their spouse. And you know what happens when you support a woman? A woman is in an incubator. She multiplies. You give her money. She creates a home. She makes food. She does everything.
She makes it
I
work.
see with my wife. Yeah, and I see with my wife. Sometimes I'm away. I'm far away, and I'm looking for maybe a fair trade Africa strategy that I've developed 10 years ago. And I say, look, I've got 10 minutes. I need to present this. And she'll say, just give me 2 minutes, and she'll find it. I can't find my own document. So number one, women need to shoulder one another and creating more awareness. And I think also in terms of, there are sectors that women are afraid to venture into, like women in energy, women in construction, and so forth. So what we can also do is 2 things. Number one is for high school girls, we need to encourage them to venture into medicine and science. And we also need to raise funds, for example, for bursaries for them and empower them. We also need to take them to the boardrooms, to the different companies to go and see what others are doing. But above all, we need to create awareness, and we need to shoulder one another as women. We shouldn't be jealous about, oh, my husband bought me a new car or he bought you a new car and stuff. No, we should talk about things that matter. Lastly, understanding personal. Women, when they go to meetings, they talk about, oh, my daughter, she just got a degree. My daughter is in London, but they don't talk about, look, I am really struggling in my industry. I need support. I need support in this area. I'm struggling with mental health. I'm struggling with management. I'm struggling with systems. So understanding personal brand, when you network, when you come together, talk about things that affects you. Women clothing, for example, they don't fit. Women don't feel comfortable when they go and buy size 30 form. But if you customize and tailor their clothes, they feel comfortable dressing. Those are issues that affect them. But as women, they don't talk about that.
Well,
so it's very,
it is so amazing, Brother Oliver. So it's so amazing, you've touched on so many areas, which Ambassador Lisa are going to weigh in, and but then we'll go to Sister Elizabeth, to introduce herself and also weigh in. And for you, just in 9 years you've worked with women in the corporate world, you've picked up a lot of things. Yes, in my 20 years in the corporate world, it's been all kinds of experience. Of course, I've not received much support from women. I've received some support from a few men, but not really women, except for the Ambassador Lisas of the world, and there are not many of them in the world. That's the truth, and not only that, I've had experienced situation where even some men have been jealous of the position, but they have no idea the things that happen behind the scenes, what it takes to run different organizations. They have no idea the sacrifices, even the anointing of God, that, like one of our team members said, any person who has any brain will know that what you do is God driving you. It's not humanly possible, but they don't get it. Everybody has a purpose on this earth. I don't try to be somebody else. Be the best version of you. I don't, the things I do are organic. Even the topics that we share or we use on this program are all organic. We don't copy anybody's topic, but a lot of people copy ours. We don't mind. Some of them plagiarize it. We don't mind. They can reach some people that we cannot reach, even though they don't give credit to us. But I'm saying, just these things happen. But when you know who you are and you are comfortable in your skin, it doesn't really matter. You keep going. I spend average of 14, 16 hours on my computer. I'm busy. I don't have time to worry about who is not doing what or who is doing what. But there are some people whose calling is to be jealous of other people or try to put people down. I've had people that have actively tried to get people to sabotage our projects or events. It's happened. It has happened. You're even talking about Oliver, there was a major project we were doing in one of the countries. And when they even found out that I was the brain behind it, and I was not even from that country, needless to say, they worked really hard to sabotage something that was supposed to save lives in that country. So all these things happen. Like you say, women don't really encourage each other. If each businesswoman would take one businesswoman, I'm proud to say I have more than one women that I'm mentoring. I actually teach corporate entrepreneurship at a university level, and I do it on a voluntary basis. I don't get paid for it. That's why I enjoy it. So and I have male and female students. But I like the fact that you touch on the young girls, because Africa Online, our Africa's Brain Bank, our sister organization, has a division called African High School Association, where we are pushing STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And the prototype school is a girls' school, but we are not going to leave back the boys. But let me just tell you, as a high school student, I left an all-girls secondary school to a predominantly boys high school. Okay, and there were 4 of us females in that in the cohort called science. Where it was called S2. It was biology, chemistry, physics, math. So there were only 4 of us girls in that class. And then 2 got dismissed. It ended up being just the 2 of us. But the first semester, I'm just telling you this, not only are girls not being encouraged, there are efforts to discourage girls. I encountered it with my classmates, not outside my classmates. That first semester, I topped the class in physics. I topped the class in chemistry. Nobody made a big deal about chemistry. In physics, the guys took it personal. They held a meeting. They're like, how can a girl beat us in physics? So they went and held a meeting that they will be studying together to make sure I never top the class again. And they succeeded. I never topped the class again, in that physics, because they were studying together. I didn't have anybody to study with, because it was just 2 of us now, girls in that class. But they acted like I did something wrong. Instead of, even if you don't want to encourage me, why would you guys do that? And then I'm just thinking, what if there was somebody really mentoring me? You understand what I'm saying? So we really need to encourage our students. It didn't change the trajectory of my studies. I wanted to be a doctor, but I cannot stand blood. So I don't even watch blood on television. So I went into a pharmacy. But I'm just saying, and my dad always told me two things that human beings will always need. They will always need food and they will always need medication, you know, and he's right. So, but I'll just say, these things happen to a lot of girls, So it has to start from the young, even at home, because there are women who don't even want their children going to secondary school or high school or university. There are girls that are still struggling to go to school. Some cultures don't even allow it, and I know Ambassador Lisa will have a lot to say about that. So it's not just, it has to start from the home. Even if the mother, sometimes the mothers don't know any better because they themselves were not educated. But the importance of education needs to be stressed, and especially in the STEM field. And that's why our theme for this event in LA is STEM, Africa's Gateway to Economic Freedom and Power. STEM is our solution for our economic problems on the continent. We need to empower girls. And you see, when the girls get into STEM, they excel. They really do. So at this point, before we go to Ambassador Lisa, I want Sister Elizabeth to introduce herself, and then we'll ask you a question later. Ambassador Lisa needs to weigh in on what
Dr. Pem, just 1 minute. Okay. Yeah, Dr. Miller, just 1 minute.
Yes.
Yes, I just wanted to touch on two things quickly. Number one is you mentioned a very important example, like when you were in this boys' school and two girls, you see how the men came together and supported each other to do well, which is something we need to encourage women to do. Number two, the issue of them maybe being jealous, it's not really about being jealous, it's about the society. So it's where they come from. Because men are taught that you are better than a woman, you should not cry, you should not do this. So we still have issues of patriarchal, we still have issues of, it is the actual society that actually men, because men, they behave in that way, actually because they are weak and they are vulnerable. And they always say a vulnerable man is dangerous. So what we need to do is we also need to create awareness, about, I mean, when I go home, my mother will say to my sister, don't you see your brother is hungry? I said to my sister, no, to my mother, no, hold on, calm down. Do you want some coffee? I can make you coffee.
There you go.
You understand? So I don't have to wait for my sister to make food for me when I'm hungry. So I think parents as well need to create awareness, but to encourage abortion, that it doesn't take your power as a man. It doesn't take you. That's why you see some men, sometimes they will say, when they are wrong, they'll say, you know, I'm a man. They actually don't realize there's a problem. Of course you're a man. God created as a man. So I think we need to create more awareness. And I think we need, like men like myself, who have the opportunity to go to school, needs to go back to societies and encourage young men to say, it doesn't take any power from you to support a woman. It doesn't take any power for you to cook or to do certain things for others and stuff. But thank you. I don't want to take much time.
All right. Thank you, Brother Oliver. Just so you know, all these things I'm talking about, even the jealousy exists as we speak, even in today, with experience it. Even our inaugural event, there was one of the team members who was a male was really trying to sabotage. There are some men who cannot handle a woman in charge. They cannot. But let's go to Ambassador Lisa to weigh in on what you said. Then we'll come to our special guest today, Sister Elizabeth.
Yes, I have a question for Oliver. So unmute your mic. I want to ask, because I'll forget. So since you've been working with women, I think you said 9 years, do you now understand when a woman comes to work late or she's not feeling well or needs to go in the middle of the day? Are you more sympathetic yet?
Sorry, come again. Your question, please come again. I was
saying, since you've been working with women, are you now more sympathetic when a woman is coming in late or she needs to go lay down in the middle of the day?
Not really. I kind of have an understanding. I grew up with mom. So with mom, we like sister and brother or something like that. My only challenge, so with women, I do fully understand. I think most things are done very late with women. Like one of the ladies I work with, she's a CEO of a company last year. She was saying, look, some of the things you have to understand that we have to do it the women way. But I think I have a lot of understanding on how women. I also grew up with many sisters. My father had 7 wives, and we're only 3 boys. So I have some kind of understanding how women think. I just did a women in energy session. We're only 10 men. 2 men was from business, 8 men was from the media. I can share the picture now. But I kind of have an understanding. My only challenge, and something that I'm afraid is going to push me away from working with women in the future, is just one. And I don't know how to deal with that. And I just think that sometimes when you help a woman, I don't know, I'm not saying it's all women, but when you help a woman, they think you are just any ordinary man. So they expect something. And then the second thing is also lack of appreciation. Like there's a recent case that happened last year when a lady had about 1,000 books. She had no space to keep them. She had no money to take them home. So we ran the space for her, part of our offices. She didn't want to take them because she didn't have money and so forth. And then when she...
Oh, you're breaking.
Yes, we know that in South Africa it's very late. So we want people to understand that when you don't see people on camera, their network is unstable.
We just lost him. Yeah.
We just lost him, yes. And it's possible there's some load shedding going on in South Africa. We're so glad that Sister Elizabeth has arrived home safely, and Brother Oliver is back. Even here, my network he's popping up saying my network is unstable. So we're talking about women executives and women being in charge. But I want to say, as I was sharing in my opening, that the greatest CEOs...
Sorry, my network dropped.
Yes, we know, we figured that out.
Sorry.
Not a problem. As I was sharing in my opening about mothers being the best CEOs, I happened to be in Uganda, my second trip. And I was talking to a group of young men, my son's friends. And I suggested that, hey, why don't y'all go in the kitchen and finish up in the kitchen and let me have a chance to talk to the sisters, they have a chance to have some girl talk. They looked at me like, oh my God, what are you talking about? They said, our fathers will call us women. And I said to them and said, are your fathers here in this house? And they thought about it. They was like, no. I said, well, how will your fathers know that you went in the kitchen and put the dishes away, or, you washed them or swept up or something? It was something that had never, ever occurred to these young men, that it's able for them to go in the kitchen and do kitchen as opposed to just letting the women do it. So as Oliver was sharing, it is a societal issue that we need to help bring some clarity and understanding. 2008, I happened to be in Kenya, and I was doing a sisters gathering. In my travels back and forth, I'd noticed how hard those women work, bending over that one little pot, making all this food, bringing it to the table hot, and they did it all on this little pot. So I decided to do a sisters gathering. And as I was preparing to bring the women all together, I told them, don't do anything, get babysitters. I planned for a whole year, told them to get ready. I'm bringing them away from the home, away from the church, out to a hotel where I was providing the breakfast, the lunch. We brought gifts. We just wanted the women to have a really nice time. I just wanted to appreciate it. They arrived at the hotel so early in the morning. We had just gotten to bed from putting all the gifts together. They were ready. And the question that I want to say, to be on the fair side, let's say 85% of the women asked was, could they leave their husbands? Because they were doing all the work. The husbands were not bringing home the money. They were beating them. And I came away from that conference not being able to answer any of their questions, because certainly we American women with our jobs, our homes, and our multiple cars could not tell these women, yes, leave him. You ain't got to stay with that man hitting you, when they had no money of their own. They had no place to go, and there were no provisions. So, but I came away from there realizing that men did not understand the value or the purpose of a woman and their wives. I did not get a chance to go back to do the brothers gathering that I had planned. It's still planned in the works. But we do need to teach the both sexes. We do need to teach the males the understanding so they can have understanding about the CEO of their home. And we need to teach women how to evenly and fairly bridge that gap where we're now partners. My first message when I went to Uganda, my very first message in Uganda was woman, wife, mother, savior of the home. The men shut down. You felt the spirit shift immediately. But when I bring about my point, they began to come back around when they saw that I was not trying to say that women were there to take over. But we are the savior of the home. Like I said, we are the CEOs of the home. We're the wife, nurse, we're the cook, we're the maid, we're the everything in the home. And if we all work together, just like the God's word said, we begin to work together, then we can have a whole, we can have a happy home, we can have happy companies, we can have successful companies. Every male CEO should have a female as an assistant, as the next in line.
Or president.
Well, or president, but I'm saying if you're the male CEO, then you definitely have a woman by your side, because we bring a unique perspective as females, as you know, as ones who have been so busy doing so many things at the same time, and you never see the stress on us. They always say black don't crack, but if they understood the pressure that most women, especially Black females, are going through in their home, on their job, we would look like 100 years old if it's actually war on us. But because we do it with such, we're just amazing creatures. So our guest is here. Like I said,
Ambassador Lisa is from.
She has made it home safely. Brother Oliver is in South Africa, and South Africa has a very big load shedding issue. So that's some of that going on. It is late at night, and which is when most load shedding is going on. So he will be in and out. We don't want y'all to think that he's crazy, just popping in and out, but I want you to know that it is network issues. Welcome, Elizabeth. We thank you for coming and joining us this afternoon. We're glad that you're home and safe and sound and ready to share with us about women executives and what we're going through in the boardroom.
So please, Sister Elizabeth, thank you, Madam Ambassador. Introduce yourself first before you weigh in on the your experience or other women's experience in the corporate world.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much, Ambassador. Thank you, my sister and brother. And I'm really, really privileged and honored to be in this extremely profound platform. I'm greeting you all from the Kingdom of Bahrain. Bahrain is just on the eastern part of Saudi Arabia. Oh. Thank you again, everyone. I am Elizabeth Bischoff. I am originally from Kenya, but I've spent almost half of my life outside Kenya, but I was born and raised in Kenya in the very, very special community. I grew up on a farm where my parents were among the first commercial farmers in Kenya. And as brother said earlier, that his family was large, mine was equally large. My father had 5 wonderful wives, and they were wonderful mothers. Awesome. We were a very big community, and it was really lovely growing up in such a family. And I believe that who I am today and where I am today, I owe it to my family, because they taught me in growing up in a very diverse, very complex, very dynamic family background. I had my first degree in Kenya in 1990, and I was fortunate to leave Kenya and went to the United States to do my master's. And soon after, I was very fortunate to go to Switzerland, where I worked with General Motors. I was one of the among a few young graduates that joined General Motors global headquarters in Switzerland. where I worked for close to 15 years, holding various positions from junior graduate to, as I would say, senior manager, where I was interacting with international other colleagues from around the world and collaborating and working in really very, very, I would say, a global environment. It molded me to be the person I am today professionally. My views and my opinions about life, about the workplace or professional life was really profoundly influenced by my role at General Motors at that time. It was a very global environment, over 30 country nationalities working in one office, and where I really learned about various cultures and what it means, you know, to be and belong to a certain heritage, a certain background, and how important it is to hold your values along the way. What I think really joins people and makes people one is values and set of principles that guide and enable certain way of life and interaction. After General Motors, I worked in several companies within Europe, international also. And finally, one of the positions led me to South Africa, where I was one of the first managers to set up an office for a US company in Cape Town. And later on, I was fortunate to be recruited to, I would say it was, it's a Saudi company that was trying to have women to support their women that were coming into the workplace. So I worked in Saudi Arabia for close to 7 years as a chief consultant. I was working with the Saudi Oil Corporation company at that time. And after that, I decided to join my husband because in the meantime, we had founded our own company in Kenya, where we were focusing on the production of healthy and nutritious foods and snacks, wow. Which obviously has brought me here in the Middle East. Right now, I'm trying to grow our market into the Middle East community. Now, this has to quickly go to the main topic of today. I would like to thank Brother Oliver very much for these insights, and also all of you. And I think that we all have different experiences. Personally, I would say this. Anywhere in the world, any time of our lives, what is important, as Ambassador said, is how you view yourself. How do you see yourself? If you see yourself as insufficient, that is where the challenge begins. And where you don't have the confidence and believe and trust of your own capabilities, your own knowledge, your own experiences, it becomes a challenge, be it a woman or a man. However, I think that there are certain things that we carry along. These are cultural elements of our life. I grew up in a village where I was indoctrinated what a woman or what a good woman ought to be. And obviously that doesn't leave you as you go along your life. I was brought up, fortunately, in a tribe that women and men were treated equally.
Oh, wow.
In fact, my tribe, the women from my tribe are really feared by many men from other communities. because you know, when your husband beats you, in many tribes, you are not supposed to raise a finger.
Lord Jesus.
In my tribe, you fight. You fight together. He hits you, you hit back twice.
Wow.
And
I love
that
it.
is
I love it.
and so it was not easy for us to be seduced by just any man, because when they do, they make sure that they are capable or up to, if there comes to a fight, because we fight back. So that's where I got my confidence. I saw my dad respecting my mother, and he gave all his wives equal power. They always owned one piece of land. They cultivated. My father never touched whatever they earned from it.
Wow.
I got chills.
Yeah.
That is news to me.
Yes, that is news to me. In all my years of travel, I've never heard such.
Yeah, and I want to say that I agree that our men need to be also educated and given the assurance that if their woman is powerful, it does not make them less of a man.
That's right.
Exactly.
In fact, it makes them a real strong man.
Exactly.
When you have a woman that is working so hard, that speaks so confidently, it does not make you less of a man. Because this is how I was brought up, and I am so happy and proud of my dad, and that he also allowed us to study. My oldest sister, she actually, when they started education in that region, it was only boys who were allowed to go to school. And the school that was nearest to our home was about 20 kilometers. So my sister used to walk my brother to school, and she would sit by the window waiting for him until he finished. My sister actually became the cleverest, learning through the window.
Wow.
That needs to be made in a movie.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. And she used to take him every day to school. She learned through the window because she was sitting by waiting for him to finish the work in back home. In fact, my brother used to hit her because he noticed that she could read and talk better than him. So he did. Yeah. So and even my father allowed my sister to do things that were meant for boys, like riding a bicycle and so many things. So I want to say I'm really privileged to have come from such a background where our father gave us every opportunity to be who we wanted to be.
Exactly.
And I think that I would encourage every family that allow your children, whether boy or girl, to utilize what their talent, their resources to be the best that they can be. I think that's where it starts. It does not start in the office.
No, it doesn't.
Not the boardroom. It starts at home.
Yes.
Where we give our children, our daughters, confidence and to believe that they can be who they can be if they give their best, to be good people, to be kind people, respectful, honorable, and they will succeed no matter what. When I went to Switzerland, I was not only dealing with being a woman, I was also dealing with being a Black woman.
Right.
And then an African woman.
An African woman. And they would marvel. I remember when I went to the mountains of Switzerland, there were very few Black people at that time. All the kids from the village would shout, "Black woman, Black woman." I understood it because I remember when a white person came to my village, we were all shouting.
Manzungo, Manzungo.
That's
what they call me in Africa. I hate it.
Intimidated by that, you know. Let's let you catch your breath here. A couple of things to say, then Ambassador Lisa can weigh in, but a couple of things. When I said that was news to me, I meant news to me from that part of Africa, because in Cameroon, even though some men, discriminate, but most girls can go to school. Like at home, my dad sent us to all Ivy League schools, you know, and my mom was an entrepreneur, you know, she supported, you know, she made all our clothes, she supported my dad's by also assisting in the house with income, but she had total control of her income. Say, and then my mom died, you know, then my second mom was also doing a business, and she had total control of her money. But I'm just saying, when I say news to me, I was just shocked, because most African countries, especially in places like Kenya, because I'm glad you said from your own tribe, because it is not that way. Because
Yes.
I recently I saw a lady on Shark Tank where she's doing coffee, and all the coffee comes from Kenya. I don't remember which part. And she insists, she told him, because the women don't own the land, their husbands do. And everything they cultivate on the land, the money goes to the husband. But the condition she gave them was that the tip that is coming from this coffee, because on her app, people are buying the coffee, patrons can tip directly and it will go to those women. So she insisted on the men that every tip, 100% of the tip goes to the women, because the women don't own the land. So that's why I was saying that it was news to me. I didn't know that, something like that. Even Ambassador Lisa, I remember the Operation Borehole 55 video, which we are doing, our next borehole is in Kenya and Cameroon. Is the women that go to fetch the water. It was the women and the young girls, not
And
the
the young
men.
girls, yes.
So that's why I was just saying that what you're saying is news to me. But let's hear Ambassador Lisa's take on what you just said. Then now we'll ask you questions about your experience as in the corporate world. Ambassador Lisa.
Yes, it's news to me as well. I'm just so excited. You know, every time I'm asked to speak at the UN or, you know, the women's equality agenda, I'm always saying it does not pay to educate only the woman if we're not educating the man along with it, because now we've got educated women who now will step out of their role as the helpmeet and begin to exert themselves over the man. And that's not how God created it. He wanted us to work together as equals. So I'm always talking about we must be equals. I am so excited to hear Elizabeth's take. I need you to look in your chat box. I sent you a private message because I know you didn't want it out publicly, but I'm so excited to hear that in Kenya, which is the first place that I was ever invited to, that the women have equal rights with the...
by the way, Sister Elizabeth will be in LA, and she's going to be partnering with us on projects. So just so you know, Ambassador Lisa.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, she's already attended 2 of our meetings, planning meetings. So she's part of the Brain Bank.
I know we're supposed to be talking about women executives, but
in the corporate world,
executive, it encompasses everything. It really encompasses everything, not just being in a boardroom, but everywhere you go, you have the confidence. You have to have confidence in where you are, what you're doing, and act like if you don't. We're saying here in America, fake it till you make it. Act like you belong in the place. Oliver was saying earlier that more women need to come to the table. But we can't come to the table if we're not invited.
Can I interrupt you, Ambassador Lisa?
So we're stepping up.
Ambassador Lisa, can I interrupt you for a second before you continue? I just want to comment on that fake it till you make it. Our version in our ministry is faith it, F-A-I-T-H, till you make it.
What?
Continue. I said our version is faith it till you make it.
Oh, faith it till you make it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, continue. I just wanted to interrupt you.
Just act like you belong there. Don't be waiting to be asked to the table. And I find that more women are making their own table. They're not asking to come to the table. They're making their...
Exactly.
You know, women in politics, he was saying also that we need to step up and be in more places. And I was looking at the statistics for women in politics, not in DC politics, but talking about women in individual cities. And I found what they call a record number of Black women as mayors, and it's only 8 in the whole entire United States. There are only 8 Black women as mayor, but this is the age of Black women in politics.
Yes.
I'm excited also because in Philadelphia, we just had our election. We just had our primaries just this past Tuesday. And the only Black woman, we had a Black woman, a white woman, and an Asian woman, and 1, 2, 3 men that were running for mayor to run against the Republicans in November, the Black woman was the one who won, and she came out in record numbers.
Awesome.
Those were record over all the others that were running. So this is the year for Black women in politics.
And don't forget Honorable Karen Bass, who we're going to be seeing in LA, who made history as the first female mayor of Los Angeles. Karen Bass, Congresswoman, former Congresswoman Karen Bass.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
mayor,
then
she's the mayor of, she's the first female mayor of Los Angeles.
Oh, she's already the mayor.
Oh yes, she won last December.
Oh, okay. So she's probably already among this list of 8 that they have. But
yes,
we're seeing women, we're seeing Black women now begin to take their place, not at the table, but at the table that they are setting for themselves. And they are the foundation for all of our other young girls that are coming up. They're the examples that we will be looking at. And it's so good to be able to look at someone and see someone that looks like you.
Exactly.
But see a Black woman who is stepping into place. I'm reading a book, and this has nothing to do with the women executives, but we're just talking about Black women being in the forefront of things. So I read a book on Bessie Coleman. I met a female Black captain. She is one of 3 at this very major airline. And she was the keynote speaker at a gala I went to 2 weeks ago. And she wrote a book on Bessie Coleman's life. And it was just amazing the things that this woman went through because we had vision. So often our children's visions and their goals have been squashed out. They've been pushed down. I'm in Africa and I've met more women who are accountants, who do not like numbers, who hate being accountants. We're talking about spent 4, 5, 6 years in university to become an accountant, and that is not what they want to do. That's how they wanted, that's not what they wanted for their lives, but that's what the government dictated that they should be. So now they want prayer to discover how to get out of doing that so they can go on and do it themselves, what they want to do. So we must, as parents, as the CEOs of our homes, make sure that we're looking at what our children are bending to. I tell people all the time, that scripture that says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart, is not talking about keeping him in church.
Yeah, that's Proverbs 22:6. Yep. That's
not talking about keeping him in church. That's talking about what is his bend? What is that child's bend? What do you see that child doing? What does he play with the most? I made sure my children had a variety of things. They had the Legos, they had the instruments. My children are musicians. They're self-taught musicians. They're self-taught journalists. They're just amazing. But I spent my time as the CEO of my home, making sure that my employees, my children, were getting what they needed to fulfill their purpose. And I encourage you women who are the CEOs of your homes to watch what that child wants to play with. That's why when I go to Africa, I take toys. There are no toys. There are no toys and there's no recreational reading. And everybody's not fortunate enough to have a father who has 3 and 4 wives or 7 wives, and all the women are equal and they all treat you as equal. From what I understand, now I'm hearing from Reverend Pam and Oliver, something I have never heard in all the years I've been going to Africa, that your mother shared a husband and you were treated well. All I ever hear is to be raised by a stepmother, to be raised by the devil himself. I had no idea that stepchildren were being treated wonderfully and well by their stepmothers or their fathers, other wives. So this is an exciting show for me today because I'm learning some things in all of my 20 years of going back and forth to Africa that I have never even heard of or seen before.
And there's more to learn. There is more to learn.
And there is always more to learn. I am.
Okay, we have 5. We have 5 minutes.
We have 5
minutes, but I want Sister Elizabeth to think about this question, and she can answer when we come back from the break. And then we'll give Brother Oliver time to weigh in. Sister Elizabeth, at the top of the hour, we normally take a break to make some announcements, and then our main anchor is not here, so there will be no French. I know if you live in Switzerland for 30 years, you must speak French. You know, our anchor is bilingual. he normally talks to our French audience. But anyway, so when we come back, just think about this. Think about
I speak German. I come from I was in this German speaking part of Switzerland.
Oh, the German, okay, General Motors. Yeah,
I
the
speak
General,
German.
Oh, you speak German. Okay, no,
Yeah.
we don't do German here. But okay, but so think about, without mentioning companies or specifics, some of the challenges you have had as a woman in the corporate world or corporate executive. Think about that, either in Africa or in Europe, or without giving specifics. So you can talk about that when we come back. But Oliver, we want to go to you now and ask you. I know you've traveled also, but what do you see, or what is the difference in your experience dealing with women in the corporate world outside Africa and women in the corporate world in Africa? And those women outside the corporate world in Africa could be of African descent, like myself. They don't have to be non-Africans. You see what I'm saying? Have you noticed, or have you even thought about the difference in the personality or how we communicate with the women in the corporate world, or confidence level or personalities? Any differences that you can think of with the women? You just came back from the Netherlands a couple of days ago. Have you noticed any difference in the women in the corporate world operating in Africa versus outside Africa? Brother Oliver.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks, Dr. Pam. Definitely.
Hold on, brother Oliver. Hold on. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to make one comment before I forget it, which you had rightfully said earlier about women taking the rightful place. What I would like to say also along with that, women must not wait to be given. We must earn it. Because when you earn it, you have more respect.
Yes.
Than when you're given. We should avoid the sense of tokenism. Because sometimes we have the tendency that I should be, I'm the token. Believe me, I have seen such happen, and it falls apart very quickly. It's better you get promotion or you get assigned because you are capable.
Exactly.
You have the qualification. And I will just mention, when I worked in Saudi Arabia, which is also a different country in many ways, I realized that you get the respect so quickly when you can demonstrate that you can deliver. And even sometimes we must over-deliver.
Of course.
As Black women, African women, not because African-American women have another status than African women. Because sometimes we are believed to have maybe learned under trees and we didn't get sufficient education. But I think that African women, we must be willing to take it an extra mile. I never, my threshold was always higher than anybody because I knew that I have a lot to prove. And I had no problem proving that I am capable and I am able. Thank you.
All right. Well, Brother Oliver, you make this takes us to the top of the hour. Brother Oliver, you will respond to that question when we come back. Ambassador Lisa, you have the anthem, or you want?
I have the anthem, yes. And you know what I do want to know when we come back? I want to know how many siblings each of you have. I know Oliver said that he was 3 boys out of many girls, but he didn't say how many. And I'm just curious, but y'all can answer that later on. Okay, we're going to get ready. We're at the top of the hour and we're going to get ready for our anthem. We are going to share the screen and we want you to grab a drink of water if that's what you need to do at this time. Grab a drink of water, take a breath as we share our anthem, which is copywritten and it belongs to us, written by our very own CEO, and it is 100% belongs to Africa.
Oh, Africa. Oh no. Africans, Africans for Africa. 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 Africans have many bright ideas. If only you let us share. If you really want to know my history, please come, sit down, listen to my story. God gave us a wisdom. He guides our footsteps, makes us shine and transform. Hey, as one people, with so many cultures, yet indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us all unite behind Africa Online Media Corporation. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. It's time to come together, promote awareness, progress, and solution. Hey, Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. All Africans can rally for a common cause, to believe without judgment in what our brother does. To identify and resolve our challenges, to allow each other's ideas without regard to standards. As one people with so many cultures, yes indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Let us solve all the problems plaguing our continent. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us empower Africans in and out of Africa. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Africa Online Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. They have all the resources we need to benefit our society. Oh. There will be education for everyone if we believe. Prosperity for Africans if we believe. Medical facilitation for Africans if we believe. Stand up, Africa, yes, for Africa. Africa Online Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Africa is the cradle of civilization, the motherland. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. We were enslaved not because we were weak, but because of our hospitality. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Jump on the Africa Online Miracle Jet. Don't be left behind. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Together we shall succeed. Together we will win. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. We are writing our own story, the truth, and we shall tell it to the world. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Africa.
No more lies. Africa.
Oh.
We're not doing this again. Give me a second.
Ambassador Lisa is crazy about that anthem. Okay.
Yes,
So,
I love that song.
all right. So let me make the announcement, then you'll do your thing, Ambassador Lisa. So next week is the last Sunday of the month, and for 7 years plus, every last Sunday of the month, we tackle a health topic. This month is Hypertension Awareness Month, and we will be addressing high blood pressure next week. You know, as the head of Global Medical Missions since April 8, 2000, every time we do medical missions, whether it's in Africa or here in Houston, top diagnosis is high blood pressure, followed by diabetes. Every single time. Our people are going around with uncontrolled high blood pressure. Some of them have diabetes, they don't even know it. And you can see the look on their face when we give them the diagnosis. And there are some who have been diagnosed with high blood pressure, but they don't take their medications. And that's why the incidence of stroke has increased amongst our people. So we are going to be spending some time to talk about high blood pressure next week. And then Ambassador Lisa, I'll let you speak, then I will talk about the event in LA once you're done, before we go back to Sister Elizabeth.
Okay, thank you, Reverend Pam. So Africa Online has an ongoing fundraiser. It is called Operation Borehole 55. It is our desire to put a borehole in every country on the continent of Africa where there is a medical facility that has no running water. We can't even begin to imagine the germs, the disease that are affecting and plaguing our women because there is no clean running water while they are delivering their babies, or they're coming with a bad gash from walking on the rocks and they're getting jiggers in their feet. Things that simple water, alcohol, peroxide can cure. But we want you to help us. We can't do this alone. We need your help. Every dime, every nickel, every dollar, every rand, every pound is going towards the borehole project. There is no administrative fees come out. We don't take money out to fly to the location. We have boots on the ground already in the countries that have been selected, and they are already making preparations. But again, we need your help to do this. Our first borehole is up and running for now 2 years, I believe, in Sierra Leone. And not only is the clinic being blessed, but there are 6,000 homes. That's 6,000 homes that are being blessed with clean running water. Our facility not only has clean running water, but it has solar panels. The waiting room and the delivery room have both been wired with electricity, so there is lights. So the doctors are not trying to deliver babies in the dark by candlelight or by little lanterns. Please, my brother, please, my sister, would you not help us bless our daughters on the continent, our sons, our families, with clean running water? So donate is the key word. Go to AfricaOnlineTV.org. You will find a donate button there. You can donate weekly, you can donate monthly, quarterly, yearly, every day if you desire. If you just think about us and you want to donate $5, do that, because we want to be able to bless the countries where we have selected. Next borehole is Kenya and Cameroon. We got 54 more countries to do. Let's hurry up. Let's put some money together and make those donations. And we will be so grateful, as our children on the continent will be grateful. Thank you so much. Again, that is AfricaOnlineTV.org.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Ambassador. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so this is our sister organization, Africa's Brain Bank, and we're having our 4th annual summit and charity ball in Los Angeles, California. So if you go to our website, it's a purchase ticket, it will take you to, do you see the ticket site, Ambassador Lisa? Are you seeing the ticket size?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we have 103 days to go. And that is around the corner, Ambassador Lisa.
Yes, it is.
I know
Yes.
your outfits are ready. Tells you about the
Not
brain
yet.
bank. It tells you about the summit. Elizabeth is going to be there. Oliver is going to be there. Oliver is our assistant director for BIP, for the business to investor to business. And I would like for him to say something about that before we continue the program. So this is the event. This the hotel is the luxurious LAX Hyatt Regency right on Terminal 1. So you don't even need to drive, you can either walk or take a shuttle. There's a shuttle that runs every 15 minutes. But the hotel, some people just walk to the hotel, but you can take a shuttle. It's right on Terminal 1. And this is the event schedule Friday, strictly for registered businesses. You're going to have 4 days to network, to match, to get investors, gain market shares, business to business. We have the dress codes there. Go to our website, read up on the details. Saturday morning, we have the IT symposium. Saturday evening is the red carpet. We're actually going to be honoring the Motown legends on that Saturday also. Sunday morning, the billionaire breakfast brunch for our speakers, sponsors, and registered BIP members. And Sunday afternoon, we are planning a separate event that will be shared once details have been finalized. And then on Monday afternoon, we're going to spend at least 8 hours at an immaculate resort, 1 hour and 50 minutes from the LAX. And this will be just for the speakers, the sponsors, and the business delegates. So these are the ticket links here. Go there and buy your ticket. Ticket prices are going to go up, and we are not selling tickets at the gate. But Oliver, you are our assistant BIP director. Unmute yourself and tell people why they should be there and some of the work you guys are doing and the people that you guys are bringing. But Oliver, the mic is yours. And tell them why they should be in LA.
Thank you so much, Reverend Dr. Pam, and thanks to our guests that are here and to our audience. My name is Oliver Fortune Chiketsore. I'm the CEO of the African Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center. It's a great honor. The 1st of September, the first day of the event, it's a must-attend event. It's really for those that want to elevate themselves to the next level. The reason why I love events is not just for nice to have, but when we come together, we create a market and a value among ourselves. In Cape Town, South Africa, for example, we have what we call the first Thursday of the month. Every first Thursday, there are different entrepreneurship events going on across the city. And one of the challenges we realize is that we have lots of entrepreneurs, but we don't have investors. We have people that are with the same challenges, but they don't have the people like mentors, sector-specific mentors, investors, and so forth. But this event really is, we are making sure that we are creating a platform for a combination of both successful businesses, investors that are looking at investing both in Africa or vice versa. We have the recent trip we had, we have met a couple of more investors that would like to join. So if you are an entrepreneur that is really looking at either investment, or you're looking for partners on the continent, or really looking at understanding your personal branding and get the support structure that you need to be able to build your business, this is an opportunity. As we say in South Africa, we say walala wasala. If you sleep, you are left behind. So I encourage that if you think 103 days is a lot, just wait. You see that it's not.
You may be left behind. And please put that walala wasala in the chat box. I really like that. But Oliver, I think you guys I think you guys should generate your own flyer out of South Africa. Put that walala wasala there. I love that. That saying, you if you sleep, you'll be left behind. So, Ambassador Lisa, you attended the event. Behind. Yes, Ambassador Lisa, you attended the event last year. Thank you, Brother Oliver. You are putting together a panel also for that Friday. You're playing a key role. You're also our country rep in South Africa. Thank you. We appreciate you. You are a performer. before we go to Sister Elizabeth, who will be coming to LA. Madam Ambassador, take just a minute or two. You attended the event last year. Even though we did not have the business component last year, this is the inaugural business component, and the businesses that are going to be part of this, yes, they will go down in history as the pioneer BIP members. You attended the Saturday academic symposium, you attended the gala, you attended the billionaire breakfast brunch. Last year's theme was We Are One. Share your experience and tell people why they should be in LA, because you'll be in LA, you're actually part of the planning.
I'm telling you, you need to be at this event. Don't sleep. I like that too, Oliver. I can't say it, but I will have.
Walala wasala.
Wahala la sala.
No, not wahala. Wahala means trouble. Wahala is walala wasala.
Okay, I'm gonna just leave it to the English version. But you don't want to miss being like-minded brothers and sisters who are already doing what you are trying to do. Come to LA. We've got some exciting things planned that you have not experienced with your brothers and sisters. It was an amazing opportunity for me. It was my first event. The red carpet, I could not wait. I had my outfit planned since I believe it was the second. Whenever the pandemic started, I had already had my outfit waiting. I could not wait. I gained a few pounds since I bought it, but it was an amazing event. I am right now shopping for I ain't paid for my tickets yet, but I'm getting my clothes together. But listen, we want you to come on and join us. The red carpet, the food, everything was magnificent. I could not complain about one thing. Reverend Pam and her team did an excellent job, and I know that they are planning something already, and I'm
well, you are part of that team, so it's a we now. You know,
well,
and you did help at least with the billionaire breakfast, but this time you're going to help with more. You know, you're going to be on the hospitality team. You know, so Brother Oliver keeps having problems. Sister Elizabeth, you're going to be coming to LA. What are your expectations, and why are you coming? And after you answer that question, we'll go back for you to answer the question that we'll go back to the topic.
Thank you, my sister. It's just really profound, the conversation. Really my expectation, for any business person like myself, networking is always very, very important. I always believe that your network is your net worth.
Yes.
And this is one of the things that I'm looking really to broaden, to strengthen my network. Secondly, is obviously to meet other people like myself and learn from them. I think, and I believe that, learning is a process that is never ending. And we are living in a very dynamic world. It's changing on a daily basis. So you are bound to have to learn, to adapt, to adjust, to, always reevaluate your competitive edge.
Yes.
And I believe always that as a business or an entrepreneur, you need to be always in the front line of information and knowledge.
Exactly.
And I am actually in a very, I don't want to say it's a new segment, but it is a growing segment. Focused on healthy food and snacks.
Yes.
And this is an area that is growing, but has also a lot of challenges. I like to meet people, and I'm really happy about the matching opportunity. I would hope to meet people in the same segment as myself and learn from them how they might have succeeded, or how they might have navigated through this very competitive environment. And of course, finally, to meet new friends and
also have fun. But let me tell you,
you talked about a dress. This is always a headache for me. So,
no, it will not. We rebuke that headache. It will not. There are options. You can wear your African formal outfit. Just go to our website. We give options. It's not mandatory. So there are dress codes for each day. But Monday we're also going to have fun. But I want to say this: we're going to have come with proposals. We want people to come with proposals because we're going to have investors there. you know, and we're gonna match businesses. So all the businesses that are coming, we know which industry they are in. So beyond Friday, you're gonna have time on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to have private meetings, one-on-one with potential investors, potential, you know, partners to gain new markets, you know, and to learn. And also, we are also going to be, I may do a class on business ethics or crisis management or several, because these are courses I teach at the university. So we're trying to create, we're going to do some on several leadership, but we want the businesses to live there with more than just networks. So there's a whole lot that is going to be accomplished throughout the weekend, but we're going to have a lot of fun also, you know. So, but anyway, yeah. So you can answer the question now. Go ahead. You can, yeah, you can speak and then answer the question that we asked, and then Madam Ambassador, we can take the round.
Okay, just on the matching session. I recently was involved with the, you know, a business network group in Dubai. You know, Dubai now is trying to build itself as a business hub for many companies and, you know, opportunities. And before they had their exhibition, they already started matching people. And I'm thinking if so that by the time they are meeting in LA, because you see, for us Africans, it's very difficult to fly out again. This must be the golden opportunity to grab a deal. So if there is a way to start networking, people, you know, exchanging information, maybe by the time I'm coming to LA, I'm just bringing my samples and signing a contract. Because
let me answer that question. We will do that for people who register. We cannot do it for people who have not registered.
Sure, sure.
Yes, so we will do it for those. That's why Oliver has a spreadsheet, and we have a group out of LA that is putting a spreadsheet of the businesses and investors from this side. So once people register, once you register, Sister Elizabeth, I will get the other person here to register. We'll exchange, you guys will exchange. That's what I say, come with your stuff ready. Let me tell you this. You don't need too much time if you know what you're doing. I'm a businesswoman, by the way. I was trained as a clinical pharmacist, but I'm a businesswoman. And that's why I teach this corporate entrepreneurial class. But what I want to say is that the people that we have coming are serious people. These are motivated business people and motivated investors. These are not window shoppers or space fillers. We don't want those kind of people. That's why we are encouraging people. Where Oliver will tell you, we emphasize, the people don't come empty-handed, come with your expectations, you know, and we already have the industries that are coming, but we want, like I was asking your expectations, I even asked you to send your business plan ahead of time. Come ready, you know, and once you come ready, these people know that because you, Brother Oliver, make sure Sister Elizabeth is on one of those panels, so that, and we are not going to have, it's not a trade show. We're not going to have expedition physical, it will be digital, because we are pushing our people to the digital age. You see what I'm saying? We want our people to learn e-commerce, to learn how to get their stuff, you know, their brands on the internet, on social media, you know, on their website, so people can go there and get them. Some people can bring a few samples. Just the only things we showcase at our events are books. Everything else is digital. So it is critical. And like I said, this is 4 days. You have 4 days to sell yourself, not just Friday. So I'm looking at the time. I think, Sister Elizabeth, you should answer the question. If you want, we can repeat the question, and then we'll take a round of the table. Do you remember the question that was asked before the break, or?
Can you just rephrase it again, just
yes,
to make sure?
I had said, well, Ambassador Lisa, first of all, wants you and Brother Oliver to tell her how many siblings you have. My question was, without mentioning specifics, countries or corporations, have you ever had, what are the challenges, or name a situation where you felt, I'm paraphrasing because I'm not repeating the exact words that I've said. What are the challenges that you would face in the corporate world as a woman in, you know, executives or a woman in the corporate world. I just paraphrased it, yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, sister. First of all, let me say that for my siblings, we are blessed. I'm blessed with 23 brothers and sisters, 14 brothers and
9
30
sisters,
yeah,
9
sisters.
girls.
Yeah, so and as you asked me earlier which tribe I come from, I am from the 3rd largest tribe in Kenya, the Kalenjin. And the Kalenjin are famously known for long distance runners.
Oh, wow.
Yes, my family have a couple of gold medalists.
Wow.
One of them, Moses Kiptanui, who was 6 times Olympic medalist, a gold medalist in 3,000 steeplechase. And if you may be listening, hello, Gogo. So really, I am from a sub-tribe called Marakwet, and this is the only tribe.
Oh my God! Did you say Marakwet? That's where we are putting the borehole.
I
really?
know, and I know Cheboy very well. We have worked on. I'm actually.
Stephen Cheboy is our country rep. He's from Marakwet.
Yes, and I am an advisory. Have given sessions to the NGO Council where he is
oh my God.
Yes, but it's a small world.
And you didn't say anything yesterday when I introduced him. Oh my God. I mean, Madam Ambassador, we're going to have to extend the show briefly. This is not a coincidence. This is divine. What are the chances that she's from the same tribe with our country rep and that Marakwet, that video where those women were going to carry water, fighting with animals, is from Marakwet.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I know that the Marakwet are still known for a lot of things. The cattle rustling, we still have a lot of challenges. Let me see if I can find
that video.
Thank you so much. I was really delighted to see your boy last night, although he didn't have a chance to speak, but him and I are very close and we do quite a bit of empowerment together. In fact, I'm leading one project of afforestation, helping communities that live around the forest, and many others. So anyway, to come back to the challenges of in the corporate world, I would like to say that personally, I was very fortunate working in countries that obviously had other challenges than just being a woman, but being an African. And obviously there are biases, which often are very unconscious. And those are often very, not, I would say, they can be troubling because the person who is doing it on you may not be really conscious about it or aware that they could be offensive. But I've been very fortunate that I've always been given the chance. I've been given the benefit of the doubt, and I have earned, you know, whatever positions that I held. I'm really happy that even as I was working for a region that is basically new in, just like in Africa, where women still need a lot of empowerment, what I would say is this: it is not what is outside of you that makes you successful. It is what is within you as a person.
Yes.
You're a man or a woman. If you are confident, make sure that you know your stuff. Be a master of your field, of your area, of your segment, of your industry.
And continue to learn because things are changing.
Yes, and be always on top of the game. Wait to be given. Don't wait to be favored. Don't wait to be, oh, you're a woman. I'm telling you, women can equally perform as men.
If not better. Sorry, Brother Oliver.
But I believe that we women are very lucky because we have a combination of skills. The soft skills are today, if you are good in people skills,
Yes.
you have much better opportunity for success, because technical skills you can learn. You can
Yes.
learn how to drive a car, but you may not really learn as easily how to behave and how to project yourself. So
Cultural and emotional intelligence.
Absolutely. And even now as an entrepreneur, I'm a CEO of I would say an award-winning company. My company was awarded 2 prestigious African continental awards for the best snack of the year and best food ingredient innovation.
Awesome.
And I would say that you must excel. You will not just get credit for being woman. You must deliver. You must be measured by your results.
Exactly. Ambassador Lisa, please, I want to show this video, please. Is that okay? I want to show this video.
You're
Yes.
the CEO. It's your show.
Oh, the devil is a liar. It's not my show. It's our show.
You are the CEO, so yes, you can show the video.
Okay, Sister Elizabeth, I want you to see this. Can you guys see my screen?
Not yet. Here you go.
This video is from during the pandemic. It's from 2020.
2020.
I want you to watch this, Ambassador, Sister Elizabeth.
My name is Stephen Cheboy, a member of African Online Media Corporation from Kenya. I've shared a video by my community members in Marakwet, explaining challenges they are facing with water in the community and the distances they are traveling to look for the precious commodity that is the water. So we allow African Online Media Corporation with their project for Operation Paul 55 to use the video to reach out to friends, partners, donors and well-wishers so that we get our community supported with clean drinking water because of the problems our communities face as a result of challenges of water.
It is 12 o'clock. The sun is scorching hot and this group of women in Kabaldamet village, Kerio Valley region are in a hurry to reach their homesteads early with water they fetch in River Imbobu so as to use them cook food for their children and spouses and to keep their goats. They do this 3 to 4 times a day, climbing the hilly terrain of Kabaldamet village so as to access this scarce commodity to quench their thirst, which they say it is found 4 kilometers away from their homesteads.
The most problem here is water. There is serious shortage of water. Women have to travel very far to get water.
For Paris Murkomen, she has to wake up daily at 3 o'clock in the morning so as to get early to the river before it is soiled due to the highest number of people going to fetch water in the same river.
We have water problems. We walk for more than 4 kilometers and this takes us several hours. In the river, we queue and scramble to get clean water.
She says she sometimes goes through a lot of challenges before reaching the river, including meeting the wild animals on their way.
We face a lot of challenges. We wake up early in the morning and go to fetch water. Along the way, we meet wild animals. This scares us.
The situation is even worse for the school-going children, since they have to leave their homesteads to their schools without taking any breakfast in the morning, nor bathing, as these women explains.
Our children normally goes to school very late because where we fetch water is too far. And remember, going to the river takes several hours. And even they go to school without taking a bath. Also, this is due to lack of water.
Due to the consumption of raw water from the rivers, diarrheal diseases are rampant in the area. Sabina Kirotich says her family have always fallen ill due to waterborne diseases.
We fetch water that some people have bathed in. This has led to outbreak of waterborne diseases.
According to the culture of Marakwet people, it is the responsibility of women to fetch water for their own consumption. It is on this note that men will take up the responsibilities of their wives during the time of giving birth, as explained by one Justus Kipkeo.
Women are forced to take the duties they are doing in the house. Even like me, I lost this teeth of mine because of waking up very early in the morning, going for water, so that I may reach at
There's one simple.
Okay. Sister Elizabeth, I wanted you to see that this is, oh my God, anyway, Ambassador Lisa, let's just do a last round.
Let me just say one thing on the water, because I've just with another group from the US, we supported another group in the same forest that they're talking about. They for 4 years, the community were digging pipeline of 5 kilometers. When USAID and Bill Gates Foundation heard about this, they were absolutely shocked how these people were so determined to bring piped water to their village. And we finished for them the piping, and now they have good drinking water. One of the biggest challenge also for this community is that they have cut all the forest. The water is receding. So what we are trying now to work with them is to offer them solution to plant trees in the forest. But at the same time, because you can see, they don't have cooking, and I mean, they need firewood to cook and to prepare food for their families. Now, this is a huge dilemma because anyway, we'll talk another time. I'd like to speak about some of the solutions we're offering for this region. There's still a lot of issues. Fortunately, I come from the mountains, which is more, I would say, greener and more productive. They come from the valley side. And really
yeah, so we're gonna talk offline. We're gonna talk offline so we can close the show.
Okay.
But since you mentioned Marakwet, I wanted you to show, and there's a clinic there that we're gonna put the water in the clinic. That these people will access it because we are putting waters in clinics. So, but Madam Ambassador, over to you. We have to close. We've already gone 8 minutes past.
Yes,
but it's our show, so we can go as long as we want.
Thank you, Reverend Pam. This has been an exciting show talking about women executives. We are everywhere. We are coming out. We are out, and we are no longer asking for our seat at the table. We are making and creating our own tables. We're going to close our show out by having our last round of the table, and we're going to start with our guest, Brother Oliver, down in South Africa. Your last thought, your last comment on the show, please.
Okay, thank you so much, Ambassador Lisa. I will just do my last comment by answering the 2 questions. The first one will be how many siblings we are. We are 21, the ones that I know. Official.
The ones you know, okay.
My mother told me that every time I go home, I receive letters. These are coming from my brothers that I don't know. We are in my mother's family. We are 3 boys, and we are 3 boys, and we are 4 girls. And then my other father's wives, there's more women than boys, but in total we're 21. As I said, the ones that I know. I was born in Mutare, so I'm dual. Mutare is in Zimbabwe, but my mother comes from the Northern Sutus, the Batokwa Nation, which is also royal. If most of you know the Great Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe means the House of the Rock. We are the Murengas. We belong to the 4 countries, and we are also royal. So just in short, that's my background. Regarding how does women respond, mostly those that have worked abroad or internationally. Actually, I'm privileged, and I want to thank God that there are women in my life. There are less than 5 that I have encounter with, and I'm engaging with in terms of number of different projects. women like Dr. Unati from Canada, Pauline Christian. But what I've learned from them, the difference between them and the women in Africa at the moment is the level of maturity, the level of spirituality, the level of professionalism, the resilience, and the desire to be able to give back their knowledge, their resources. Women are going out of their way to make sure that they build the Africa that we want. So that's the difference. The women in Africa, yes, I think there's a lot of lack of awareness, and that's number one. Number two, there's a huge gap between the women that are successful and the women that are just like my mother, who are still selling vegetables on the market. And then also the women mostly in Africa, they also feel like entitled. I think it's a mindset thing that they should be given everything for free. So I think we need to do a lot of capacity development by empowering them, creating platforms and opportunities that can be able to address what they are facing. Creating awareness, for example, you mentioned the community in Kenya without water. Those are, I think, success stories that we need to talk about, but lobby and create more resources to empower them, even to do workshops, encourage them to start cooperatives that will be able to help them to build the communities and the Africa that we want. The last comment, the future is bright. So if you've not registered for the Los Angeles event, our Lala Wasala. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Elizabeth, I'm sorry, I want to save her for last. Reverend Pam.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm really looking at the time here. Sister Elizabeth, thank you so much. We're going to be doing a lot with you. And I can't wait to meet you in LA. You know, you can call me. I live in Houston, Texas, Central Standard Time. And we walk through some of those things. Please register your company yesterday, so we can get you in touch with the other person here, you know, as soon as they register. And we're looking forward to transforming our people. As for my sisters in the corporate world, and also my brothers, I want to honor the brothers that honor us in the corporate world and support us. And for those who attack us and antagonize us, I'll say there's time for you to change. It's time for you to change rather, you know, because we are not going anywhere. And like my sister said, know who you are. I think self-esteem and self-confidence has a lot to do with it. And for those who have been in the corporate world but have not brought themselves to the information technology or the knowledge area, this is the knowledge era. People get paid for what they know. Go on the internet and learn for yourself. There's no excuse. You can always, you know, search what you're looking for. And so that when people are having a conversation, you can sensibly, you know, or intellectually participate in that conversation. And you should command respect, not demand it. You command respect by the way you carry yourself, by what you know. And I'm very fascinated with brains. That's why you see us with Africa's Brain Bank and Africa's Brain Power, because we are banking all the brains. But again, let me just end here because my sister needs to give her last word.
Yes. Thank you, Reverend Pam. Sister Elizabeth, your last word on the subject.
Thank you very much, everybody, again, for this opportunity. And all the people who are listening to us, I want to thank you really for taking the lead in bringing this conversation, because I think any community, even at the family level, conversation is always the prerequisite for any progress or success or positive change. So I think as long as we are talking and openly and sincerely, when you mentioned that this was going to be about women executives, I didn't expect Oliver to be there. But now I see the importance of him being here.
No,
because it's so necessary that we all jointly speak about, not just about women, but about fairness and equality in our society. And we all must bring to fore that any successful society today cannot succeed by leaving others behind. women, children, boys, girls, everybody must be carried along and be given the opportunity, because we are now operating in a society that is not like maybe our parents did.
Global economy.
Exactly. The way our economy is, our society is, requires a united front, a grand coalition of men and women to have better society. So I believe, and I'm so happy that even in our governments in Africa, that we're seeing women leaders. I'm seeing the way that our communities are supporting women and really appreciating the contribution of women. Kenya in particular, I mean, Tanzania today, we're so proud to have a woman president, and she is performing like never any other president has done. She is charming her people. She's driving change. So I believe that women have a role to play, and everybody has a role to play, be it woman or man. So let's hope that we continue with the conversation, bringing our men on board to also share with us their fears, their reservations, and maybe us women can help them to help us and to give us the space happily and also without fear. So we have a lot of work, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for this wonderful platform. I am honored and privileged.
Real quick, thank you. Please put your company website on the chat box, Sister Elizabeth. I forgot to mention that. So, yes. Madam Ambassador, over to you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Pam, Brother Oliver, and Sister Elizabeth. This has been a dynamite show. We are so excited that we will be able to bring to you women executives. There are executives in so many areas. I need you, Elizabeth, to put that in the chat box to everyone. Because
yeah,
not just to me.
I gave her co-host so she can put it to everyone.
Yeah, but she sent it directly to me. I want her to put
send
it to everyone.
I'm sorry. Oh,
yes, that's okay. And the name, not just the website, just the name as well. But we are excited that we were able to bring this show to you. We've had South Africa online. We have
Bahrain
that's on the southern edge of Saudi Arabia. We've got Cape Town, we've got Houston, we've got Philly. We are a global show, and even though this is going to be viewed by so many people, we want you to get on board, come join us in LA, begin to make plans. If you've never been to LA, come spend that time with Africa's Brain Bank. We look forward to seeing all of you join us then. And again, next week, as we bring to you our health topic, which will be hypertension. Thank you so much for joining us. African belongs to Africans. God bless you all, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.